Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Hokage. My ninjutsu effects are maxed out. Chapter 1. Desert. The Endless Desert. Lu Mu looked at everything in front of him in confusion, his head completely shut down. 1 second he was playing with his paper figurine wife, but the next second he was in a desert. If it weren't for the scorching sun and the boiling yellow sand, Lu Mu would have thought he was in a dream. Ding dong. Congratulations to host for coming to the ninja world. Due to insufficient energy in this system, it is about to enter a deep sleep. For the time being, it can only provide one-time help to the host. Please choose the reward you like. Lu Mu's mouth twitched, and he finally understood. The feelings themselves have traveled through time. The system, which was about to enter a deep sleep, used its last bit of energy to send itself to the ninja world. Thank you so much from my whole family. Since there is no energy left, just find a place to stay. Why come out and trick people? Lu Mu took a deep breath to calm down. No matter what, there is at least one chance to choose, right? Option 1. Elementary Immortal Human Body. Option 2. 3 Magatama Sharingan. Option 3. Mysterious Gift Package. The moment he saw the reward, Lu Mu's eyes lit up. Fairy Body. As long as you have a fairy body, you will have endless chakra. He wouldn't be like Hatake Kakashi, who threw away 2 skills, supported the wall with one hand and supported his waist with one hand, and forced himself to take out the intimate paradise and return to blue. And what is Hokage competing for in the later stages? The comparison is with chakra. It's a pity that it's only a junior level, and the level has dropped all of a sudden. Lu Mu shook his head and looked at the second option. Sharingan. And it's a Sharingan from Sanmagatama. What is the competition between ninjas? It's all about insight. Since ancient times, there has been a saying that if you know yourself and your enemy, you will never be defeated in 100 battles. With Sharingan, you can greatly increase your insight and see through the enemy's moves. Moreover, the 3 Magatama Sharingan can see through most genjutsu. Although there will be a little less fun, the safety factor will be greatly improved. Walking in the ninja world, you can count on having someone to rely on. But the biggest drawback is that I can go blind. And if you want to evolve Sharingan to Eternal Sharingan, you must grab another pair of eyes. Anyone who owns Sharingan now is not at the boss level. Thinking of this, Lu Mu shuddered and quickly moved his gaze downwards. Mysterious Gift Package. Lu Mu touched his chin and started thinking. What do ninjas need most? Luck. For those who are lucky, any rubbish picked up will be a rare treasure. Any time you jump off a cliff, an old man will teach you martial arts secrets. Maybe you're lucky and get the reincarnation eye and other heaven-defying existences. Give it a try and turn your bicycle into a motorcycle. Lu Mu clicked on it without thinking. Ding dong. Congratulations to host for choosing the Mysterious Gift Package. Acquire Genin Quality, 3 Body Technique, Palm Sage Jutsu, Shadow Clone Technique, Fireball Technique, Seduction Technique. Special Effect Blessings. Lu Mu's mouth twitched. This wave of gambling has directly transformed itself from a poverty alleviation pioneer to a poverty alleviation target. Although the rewards seem to be many. But they are all extremely basic ninjutsu. You just need to find an opportunity to study and you will learn it quickly. Genin's qualities are heaven-defying though. But here is a desert. It is obviously not the Genin of Konaha village in the Land of Fire. It is definitely the cannon fodder among the cannon fodder. The only thing that surprised Lu Mu was the last reward. Special Effect Blessing. When releasing ninjutsu, the special effects of ninjutsu can be maximized. P.S. Ninjutsu damage will not change. Lu Mu held his forehead with one hand, feeling an urge to die. It was promised that the bicycle would be transformed into a motorcycle, but suddenly there was no bicycle left. Ding dong. The energy has been consumed. I wish the host good luck in martial arts. With a noise like snowflake television, Lu Mu could no longer call the system. Lu Mu's face turned completely dark because of this. Take me out of this desert first. Lu Mu stood up helplessly. Although Genin quality is the lowest level among ninjas. However, for modern people, physical fitness has improved several levels. And with the blessing of chakra, it makes Lu Mu's walking in the desert much easier. But the scary thing about the desert is not the high temperature of the sand. It's about the temperature difference between day and night, the quicksand hidden in the sand, and the direction. Now the sun was slowly setting, and Lu Mu had no idea where he was. If you don't find a place to rest before night falls, you may be completely frozen to death by the bad weather. But in the desert, I didn't even see a single large animal, let alone find anyone to ask for directions. At this moment, a figure appeared in the distance. The whole body was wrapped in a brown robe, leaving only one face exposed. It looked like he was only 15 or 16 years old. Especially the exposed blood-red hair is particularly eye-catching. Lu Mu's face showed a look of ecstasy. It was like finding a life-saving straw when drowning, and instinctively ran towards the other party. "Brother, do you know how to get out of this desert?" Lu Mu asked breathlessly, his eyes filled with joy. "After all, as long as you know the right direction. With Genin's current strength, he will soon be able to get out of the desert. No matter how difficult it is, you can still find a place to rest and replenish water and food to survive the night in the desert." The boy looked at Lu Mu in surprise. I was surprised that Lu Mu would ask me for directions. "Do not you know me?" The boy took off his hood, completely revealing his blood-red hair under the hood. There was a playful smile on his face. "Should I get to know you?" The boy was stunned for a moment, and the smile on his face became wider. The boy's name is Scorpion, and he is the grandson of Grandma Chiandai, the consultant of the Kingdom of Wind. I just killed the third-generation Kakashi not long ago, and the entire Kingdom of Wind is a wanted order for Scorpion. But the strangely dressed ninja in front of him didn't even recognize him. "Okay, I won't ask you anything else. You just need to tell me how to get to Konaha village." Konaha. Shia's expression stiffened, and a murderous aura gradually filled the air. His parents were killed by the Konaha White Fang during the battle with Konaha. Although Konaha White Fang is dead now. But when Konaha Ninja appears, Scorpion will never be merciful. I have a shortcut here that can lead directly to heaven. As soon as Shie finished speaking, several puppets flew out from behind. Each puppet is equipped with a sharp blade, which can easily cut through boulders with just one stroke. Just when the fight between the two was about to break out, a woman floated in the air. A pair of wings made of white paper were seen flapping behind the woman. Wearing a red and black coat. Under the light blue hair, a pair of beautiful eyes watched everything happening below with interest. "Is there a fight? Just let me see if you, the Red Sand Scorpion, are qualified to join our Akatsuki." Puppet, short red hair. Adding these 2 points together, Lu Mu instantly recognized Shia's identity. However, Scorpion was not wearing Akatsuki's red cloud and black coat, obviously before joining Akatsuki. The Scorpion is called the Red Sand Scorpion, and it even single-handedly killed the third-generation Kakashi with shadow-level strength. With Lu Mu's current strength, fighting against him was no different than sending him to death. As for why Scorpion is so murderous, it was entirely because he mentioned the word Konaha. Shie was very dependent on his parents, but they both died at the hands of Konaha White Fang. You must know that the reason for writing and killing the third-generation Kakashi was because the third-generation Kakashi initiated a war, which indirectly led to the sacrifice of Xian's parents. With such a being, the possibility of him letting Lu Mu go was really slim. Just as Lu Mu was thinking, Shie shook his hands. The puppet, which had its head lowered and limbs hanging down, suddenly came to life. A pair of eyes stared at Lu Mu, bursting with murderous intent. "Die." Following the order, the 3 puppets flew straight towards Lu Mu. Lu Mu wanted to hide, his head issued instructions, but his body didn't respond at all. Because of fear, Scorpion has the power to assassinate the third-generation Kakashi, the legendary Kage. With such strength, even if Jonin came over, it would just be to deliver food. Not to mention that Lu Mu now only has the quality of Genin. You know, when Uchiha Sasuke met Orochimaru for the first time, he was also frightened by Orochimaru's murderous aura and couldn't move. Finally, relying on the pain, I allowed myself to move. "Can't you move now?" Shie shook his head in disappointment. I originally wanted to rely on Lu Mu to test the power of the newly completed puppet, but it couldn't even compare to the ordinary puppet. Taking out that puppet was simply an insult to the third-generation Kakashi. Conan looked down at the scene below, with a look of regret on his face. Lu Mu looked like he was only 12 or 13 years old, but he had just graduated from the Ninja Academy. Meeting Scorpion was like the end of the world for him. But Conan had no intention of stopping. Ninja can be said to be a high-risk profession, almost walking on the threshold of death. When you become a ninja, you must be prepared to die in battle. As strong as the fourth Hokage, it's not like he died in battle. This is the fate of ninjas. We can't go on. Lu Mu bit the corner of his mouth, and a trace of blood slid down his cheek. This stinging pain allowed Lu Mu to regain his mobility. Then he quickly took out 3 shurikens from his ninja bag and threw them ahead. When the shuriken was released, Lu Mu was stunned. There should only be 3 shurikens thrown out, but now there are thousands of them in front of Lu Mu. Scorpion's pupils shrank sharply. These thousands of shurikens blocked all the hiding spaces. I never expected that a genin with such a slow response could be such a terrifying ninjutsu. Since you can't dodge, you can only defend. Then the 3 puppets that had just flown out immediately returned to Scorpion, using their bodies to defend themselves against the shuriken attacks. Conan in the sky, although he was not within the attack range of the shuriken, frowned at this time. When Lu Mu took action, Conan only saw 3. But as soon as he took it off, it immediately turned into thousands. There are only 2 possibilities for throwing so many shurikens. The first is the ninja who specializes in ninja tools. This type of ninja seals all the ninja tools in scrolls and summons them all at once through channeling. But this requires a scroll to seal the ninja tool and a summoning seal. Neither of these 2 points was found in Lu Mu. The first one can be ruled out directly. The second is the special ninjutsu of the Konaha Sarutobi clan, the Shuriken Clone Technique. This ninjutsu can turn several shurikens into dozens or hundreds of shurikens in an instant. In theory, as long as there is enough chakra, the number can be increased infinitely. But if it is the second type, then the guy below is too scary. First of all, I didn't see the seal. This shows that the speed of forming seals is already so fast that people can no longer see clearly. What is the ninja competition? It's the shooting speed. You cast one ninjutsu at the same speed, but the opponent has already cast several ninjutsu. How can you still play? The second thing is quantity. The Shuriken clone technique can theoretically create unlimited clones. But the prerequisite is to have an amazing amount of chakra. Thousands of shurikens suddenly appeared below, but there was no tired expression on Lu Mu's face. This shows that the chakra in Lu Mu's body has reached an incredible level. What do ninjas compete for? It's the amount of chakra. The quantity of chakra is directly related to the quantity and quality of ninjutsu. With Lu Mu's current chakra content, he is definitely a nightmare in the eyes of his enemies. Scorpion has met a master. Conan swallowed a mouthful of saliva, with a fearful expression on his face. I didn't expect to meet such a master besides Scorpion in the desert. Although Conan came to invite Shaw to join the Akatsuki organization this time, Conan had no intention of taking action. On the one hand, Scorpio's trump card has not yet been revealed, and it has not yet been decided who will lose and who will win. What's the most important thing in ninja battles? It's experience. Lu Mu looks too young, how can he compare with the Red Sand Scorpion? On the other hand, Conan is also afraid of Lu Mu's ninjutsu. If you intervene by yourself, you will never be able to escape unscathed. But since when did film quality become so worthless? In the desert, you can actually meet 2 shadow-level masters at the same time. At this moment, Shuriken officially came to Scorpion. Xian controlled the puppet with all his strength to resist this wave of fatal attacks. Shuriken fell on the puppet like rain. But apart from the first 3 lives, there was no reaction. Scorpion moved the puppet slightly. I saw that the shuriken was still attacking, but as soon as it touched the puppet, the shuriken disappeared instantly. Genjutsu. Clone. Scorpion's face darkened. Unexpectedly, he was the mighty Red Sand Scorpion and successfully assassinated the 3rd generation Kazekage. He was actually frightened by a simple clone technique. Got fooled by a genin's ninjutsu. Xie felt a little helpless for a moment, and the murderous aura in his eyes instantly spread out. You are very good, Xie said, directly taking back the 3 puppets, and then took out several scrolls from his waist. As the scrolls were opened one by one, countless puppets emerged from the scrolls. Not long after, Scorpion was surrounded by puppets, and there were 100 majestic puppets at a glance. Each puppet is equipped with sharp weapons, and some weapons even have blood stains on them. Don't you like to use numbers to fight? Then I will also use numbers to deal with it. Let's see who is better at your clone technique or my 100 machine drill. 100 machine drill. Conan became serious again. There was deep fear in his eyes, but also a hint of curiosity. The puppet master requires extremely strong control and mental strength. An ordinary puppet master can operate one puppet very well. Being able to operate several puppets at the same time is considered a master among puppet masters. And operating 100 puppets at the same time is simply an impossible task. But there are 100 puppets below, each one looks like a real person and can control its own limbs skillfully. Even though he operates 100 puppets at the same time, Scorpion cannot exert 100% of the puppet's power. But in the face of absolute quantity, quality will also be suppressed. Especially through the control of Scorpion, the puppet's combat effectiveness is not low. And this force can even wipe out a small ninja village. If pain did not exist in the Kingdom of Rain, it would be difficult to resist this force. Conan took a deep breath and secretly made up his mind. No matter how high the cost, Scorpion must be drawn into the Akatsuki organization. Even if the wooing fails, we must not become enemies with Scorpion. Conan turned his head and looked at Lu Mu. Even with Lu Mu's amazing hand speed and massive amount of chakra, he was still vulnerable to the crowd tactics. Failure is only a matter of time. At this time, Lu Mu was panicking. Unexpectedly, the first ninja I met when I traveled to the world of Hokage was Scorpion, who was about to join the Akatsuki organization. The most important thing is that the two of them fought against each other. Scorpion has shadow level strength, and he even used his ultimate attack on one of his genin. It's just like killing a chicken with a dragon-slaying sword. However, Lu Mu had no intention of giving up resistance. Even if he died, Scorpion would be covered in blood. Then Lu Mu quickly formed seals with his hands. Following the last tiger seal, Lu Mu took a deep breath, and a stream of chakra continued to gather towards his lungs. Call. Lu Mu spit out the chakra from his mouth with all his strength. When it reached the mouth, the chakra instantly turned into orange-red flames, spraying continuously towards the front. Fire style. Great Fireball Jutsu. Following Lu Mu's groan, the fireball gradually grew in size rapidly. In just 2 breaths, the size of the fireball directly increased hundreds of times, and even tended to keep getting bigger. At this time, the Great Fireball technique is like a meteor from the sky, covering the entire sky. The originally bright yellow sand gradually darkened and turned into the color of flames. Conan's pupils shrank sharply. It was completely unexpected that this 12 or 13-year-old ninja could master such a powerful forbidden technique. A simple seal can actually summon such a powerful meteorite. Want to escape? How can it be? Looking around, the entire desert was shrouded in flames. It seemed as if the sun had suddenly appeared in front of me. Despair. Extremely desperate. Conan had no idea that he was just here to watch, and that he would be involved. His past flashed before his eyes like a revolving lantern. At this time, Scorpion was also staring blankly at the fireball above his head. Scorpion, who had never felt fear before, was trembling unconsciously at this moment. My own 100 machine drill seems so vulnerable in front of this ninjutsu. It's like a child playing house. Just the slightest touch and it will fall apart. Scorpion was afraid, not even when facing the 3rd generation Kakashi, not even when facing death. But at this moment, Scorpio was scared. Xie began to regret why he provoked the young man in front of him. Lu Mu stared blankly at the great fireball in front of him, and the corners of his mouth kept twitching. Such special effects are so cool. A great fireball technique, directly showing the feeling of the end of the world. It seems to be countless times more powerful than Pain's planetary devastation. But Lu Mu knew it very well. This is just awesome special effects, the real power is just a great fireball technique. The most important thing now is how to finish. At this moment, Lu Mu saw a figure slowly falling down from the sky. The Akatsuki organization's logo is a black coat with red clouds, purple hair, and wings made of white paper behind him. Who else could this be if this wasn't Conan from the Akatsuki organization? Lu Mu's eyes lit up, and he quickly put away the great fireball technique. In an instant, the fireball like the sun disappeared instantly. The sky became bright again. Only a hint of the smell of burnt wood remained. There is no need for you and me to fight to the death, so let's end it like this. Lu Mu said calmly, with a calm demeanor, quite like a master from this world. Scorpion suddenly collapsed to the ground, his chest heaving and breathing heavily. There was a hint of joy in his eyes. After walking through the gate of hell, Scorpio redefined his meaning of life and his motivation to live. Conan breathed a sigh of relief. The shock in my heart was even greater than before. It's easy to cast ninjutsu, but it's not easy at all to stop the ninjutsu cast perfectly. If the difficulty of casting ninjutsu is 1, then the difficulty of stopping ninjutsu after it has been cast is at least 100. Especially the great fireball that covers the sky and the sun. It can be said that no other person in this world can display it. To stop it, Conan couldn't even imagine how difficult it would be. Although this ninjutsu does not stop perfectly. But the difficulty of controlling a fireball as powerful as the scorching sun to the size of the great fireball technique is absolutely unprecedented. And Conan found out. After performing 2 forbidden-level ninjutsu, Lu Mu showed no signs of fatigue at all. This is enough to prove how high Lu Mu's chakra content is. Conan quickly tidied up his demeanor to make himself look less embarrassed. Although Lu Mu is unusually kind, Scorpion was bullied to his face, but he was still willing to let Scorpion go. But Conan didn't dare to slack off at all. After all, Lu Mu's 2 ninjutsu just now were enough to prove his strength. Since he is a master, he should be respected. And Conan represents the Akatsuki organization. Because of his recklessness, he offended such a powerful being, thus bringing disaster to the Akatsuki organization. This is definitely something Conan does not want to see. Senior, I am Conan from the Akatsuki organization. I offended you just now. Please don't blame me. Conan lowered his head, not daring to be careless at all. Such a powerful ninja would definitely discover his existence in the first place. So instead of being secretive, it is better to speak directly and beg Lu Mu for forgiveness. Lu Mu coughed twice in embarrassment. You know your own strength best, but you are just a paper tiger. As long as anyone present dares to make an A, Lu Mu will die in front of them. Fortunately, the great fireball technique just scared the 2 of them. Fine. Conan breathed a long sigh of relief, and the big stone in his heart finally fell away. After a brief pause, Conan looked at Lu Mu with fiery eyes. Senior, the Akatsuki organization has just been established and needs ninjas like you to join. What do you think? I join the Akatsuki organization. Lu Mu was shocked by Conan's suggestion. Where is the Akatsuki organization? Those are cage-level existences. As for his own strength, which looks amazing on the surface, it is actually just a paper tiger. As long as the other party dares to hit an A, Lu Mu will dare to show his death to the other party. If you hang out in such a team, something will happen sooner or later. Moreover, the Akatsuki organization has an extremely terrifying curse. As long as you put on the red cloud and black coat, the moment the coat falls to the ground, it will be your own death. In the end, only the Jedi Go King Orochimaru survived. That's why Orochimaru is so fast. Therefore, the Akatsuki organization must not enter, even if you kill them. I prefer freedom, so I am not planning to join any organization. Hearing Lu Mu's words, Conan was not depressed at all, but instead showed joy on his face. Don't worry, our Akatsuki organization will never force you to do anything. Moreover, our Akatsuki organization exists for the true peace of the ninja world. Isn't this the goal of all ninjas? Lu Mu sneered in his heart. For world peace, the largest ninja war was caused by the Akatsuki organization. Moreover, Lu Mu is just a genin. When the time comes to grab the tailed beast, he may be exposed in an instant. Find a safe place to lay low. Just when Lu Mu was about to refuse and leave, a familiar voice suddenly came to his ears. Ding dong. Agree to Conan to join the Akatsuki organization, and the awakening progress will be increased by 5%. If you refuse, the system will completely enter a deep sleep. Lu Mu's mouth twitched. I never expected that this broken system is still there. And also forcing myself to join the Akatsuki organization. What is the difference between this and committing suicide? But when Lu Mu came to this ninja world, his only reliance was on this system. If the system goes into sleep, sooner or later you will become cannon fodder. For world peace, this is also my childhood dream. I can go to your Akatsuki organization and have a look. If it is suitable, then I will join. Conan is excited. Unexpectedly, it was so easy for the godlike Lu Mu to be willing to learn about the Akatsuki organization. And the reason is just for world peace. For a moment, Lu Mu's figure grew taller in Conan's eyes. Strong and ambitious, Conan immediately reminded of Yahiko. And Yahiko's figure gradually overlapped with Lu Mu in front of him, and Conan felt an inexplicable affection. And in Lu Mu's words, Conan also found another secret. When I was young. This shows that Lu Mu is no longer young, but maintains his youthful appearance through secret techniques. Maybe Lu Mu has an amazing identity behind his back. Maybe if this identity is revealed, the entire ninja world will start to turmoil. But it's such an identity and such strength. To achieve the goals of Akatsuki organization. Okay senior, I will take you to meet the leader of the Akatsuki organization. Conan was excited. As long as Lu Mu was willing to go to the Kingdom of Rain, Conan would be confident to recruit him into the Akatsuki organization. Conan said that he was about to leave, but he felt that there was not much there and seemed to have forgotten something. Suddenly Conan remembered. This time he came to the Kingdom of Wind in order to recruit Sha into the Akatsuki organization. But after seeing how powerful Lu Mu was, Xie instantly lost his temper and even considered whether to increase the threshold of the Akatsuki organization. After all, with someone as powerful as Lu Mu, not just any cat or dog can enter the Akatsuki organization. At this time, Scorpion's eyes, which were originally unfocused, brightened up again. Staring at Lu Mu with both eyes, he walked over step by step. Ever since the last ninja war, when my parents died at the hands of the Konaha Whitefang, my world has been completely plunged into revenge. But after the deaths of Katsuki Tsukumo and third generation, I completely lost the motivation to live. It's you. Let me see the power of ninjutsu. It's you. Let me realize the meaning of living again. So please let me accompany you and let me appreciate that unparalleled strength. The corners of Lu Mu's mouth twitched. That's it. At first, Lu Mu thought Xie was about to take action, so he was ready to escape. Then I thought there was something wrong with Scorpion's orientation, and goosebumps all over my body. In the end, I just wanted to be a follower. If he couldn't defeat Xie, Lu Mu would have given Xie a scalp. Let Scorpio know that if you have something to say it directly and don't make all these meanderings. It's a test of one's heart, don't you know? Ding dong. Agree to Scorpion's request. Increase recovery progress by 1%. Lu Mu smiled helplessly. Before I even had any ideas, the system made a choice for me. Anyway, I'm about to get sucked into the Akatsuki organization. After joining, a two-person team will be formed. Instead of teaming up with those other old coins, it's better to let the obedient Scorpion follow. This will give you better control. Then come with me to the land of Rain. Rain country. A sad country. Since it borders 3 big countries, in the event of a war, the main battlefield will most likely fall on the land of the Kingdom of Rain. Therefore, the Rain country and other small countries are the ones who were really injured in the ninja war. The rain that falls most of the year seems like God is crying for this country. Fortunately, it didn't rain in the land of Rain today. Otherwise, Lu Mu might be turned into a drowned rat. And Lu Mu really experienced flying this time. After Lu Mu agreed, Conan couldn't wait to take Lu Mu back to the land of Rain. Without hesitation, he picked up Lu Mu and flew up in the air. When you feel the biting cold wind in front of you, you can also feel the soft warmth coming from your back. It feels like a world of ice and fire. Scorpios don't have this kind of treatment. Without the ability to fly, he could only rely on running the whole way, and worked hard to prevent himself from being thrown away. But Scorpio didn't complain at all. As long as he could see Lu Mu's figure, he would have the motivation to run. After a long flight, Conan's speed dropped. The pedestrians below, who were as big as ants, gradually grew larger. Finally, the two of them landed on the largest building in the Kingdom of Rain, and returned to the embrace of Mother Earth, which made Lu Mu seem a little uncomfortable. Especially that touch of warmth made Lu Mu miss it a little. Senior Lu, this is our Rain country ninja village. Although the number of ninjas is not as good as that of the 5 major countries, their top combat power is no worse than them. Conan said proudly, suddenly realizing something, his face looked a little embarrassed. Although Nagato, who possesses the Samsara Eye, is powerful, in front of Lu Mu, he is in heaven and earth. After all, if the previous ninjutsu was used against the Rain country, it would be useless. The Kingdom of Rain is afraid that it will disappear directly from the map. Then Conan quickly took out a red cloud and black coat to relieve the embarrassment on his face. This is the symbol of the Akatsuki organization. Wearing it in the Land of Rain will save you a lot of trouble. Is it finally here? Taking off this iconic death suit means death. However, Lu Mu did not refuse, but took it directly. After all, wear it in the morning and wear it in the evening. You have to wear it sooner or later. Why not change into a new skin early and look cool? Ding dong. Congratulations to host for successfully joining the Akatsuki organization. The awakening progress will be increased by 5%. Get negative buff. Take off your clothes and die. Take off your clothes and die. Take off your red cloud and black coat during battle, and the chance of death in battle will increase by 90%. Lu Mu's mouth twitched. I originally thought that stripping to death was just a joke, but I didn't expect that there was such a buff. No wonder all the members of such a powerful Akatsuki organization were killed in battle. It seems to be related to this buff. Fortunately, this buff only takes effect if it is removed during combat. This made Lu Mu feel a lot better. Otherwise, if you take off your clothes and take a shower, there is a 90% chance of dying in battle. I'm afraid I'm not using mercury for bathing. Of course, Lu Mu couldn't have such a good thing just for himself. Give me another one and leave it to Scorpion. Xie just ran over and heard that Lu Mu was seeking welfare for him, and he couldn't help but feel a little moved. Since the death of his parents in the war, Scorpion has never felt this emotion again. Although he is so strong, he is so gentle. Being able to follow Lu Mu is definitely the most correct choice I have made in my life. Conan smiled slightly. If Lu Mu hadn't reminded him, he would have almost forgotten the existence of Xie. But I have to say that Scorpion's strength is still very terrifying. Flying in the air, Scorpion was able to keep up with the speed. It must be said that this was also the best display of strength. But this can only be compared with ordinary ninjas. Compared with Lu Mu, it is not at the same level and there is no comparability at all. Then Conan took out another black coat with red clouds and threw it to Xie. Senior Lu, please wait a moment. I'll go ask the leader of our village for instructions first. Lu Mu nodded to show his agreement. Then Conan left with a smile. When Conan left Lu Mu's sight, his walking speed immediately changed from a slow walk to a run. I couldn't wait to break the news to Pain. After all, as long as Lu Mu joins, the Akatsuki organization's goals can be completed several years ahead of schedule. Pain sat by the window. When he saw Conan pushing the door open, the worry on Pain's face disappeared. Conan, you are back. This mission was successfully completed. Conan said proudly, even looking a little excited. Let's not talk about the mission or not. I saw a giant sun falling in the direction of the Kingdom of Wind. Do you know what happened? Pain said solemnly. After all, the movement was too loud. Although the Kingdom of Rain is adjacent to the Kingdom of Wind, there is still a certain distance. In the Kingdom of Rain, you can see the giant sun falling, which proves that the size of this giant sun is incredible. If it really hits it, the Rain country will be swallowed up immediately, and the entire ninja world will fall apart. But the giant sun only appeared for more than 10 seconds, and then disappeared. This has puzzled Pain until now. Hearing Pain's words, Conan showed a hint of pride on his face. Of course I know. I was right in the middle of this technique at that time, and I even saw the performer. What? This is ninjutsu. Pain stood up suddenly, with disbelief written all over his face. I originally thought it was a celestial body, so there was nothing anyone could do. But Conan said this is ninjutsu. A ninja who uses this ninjutsu may have transcended the category of ninja and directly stepped into the palace of God. After all, as long as it gets angry, one thought can destroy the entire world. And I brought him back. What? Pain suddenly felt that his brain was running out. The being who could destroy the world with just a raise of his hand was actually invited. Pain felt like he was in a dream. If you can join the Akatsuki organization, it will definitely be a qualitative leap for the Akatsuki organization. Even if he gives up his position as the leader of the Akatsuki organization, Pain will agree without hesitation. Pain took a deep breath to calm down. Then he looked at Conan with a serious face. Please take me to see him. Pain said urgently. Of course I will take you to see him, but Senior is just willing to come and see the Akatsuki organization. I'm afraid it's a bit difficult in your current state. Pain was stunned for a moment, and then he realized his gaffe. This is a person who can affect the future development of the Akatsuki organization, so we must not be careless at all. If you lose your composure like this now, if you offend your senior, it will definitely lead to disaster. Then Pain straightened up his appearance before following Conan out. Senior, this is the leader of our Akatsuki organization, Pain. Conan walked in with Pain and introduced Pain carefully. But Pain stood still. He frowned and couldn't say a word for a long time. Pen, what are you doing? Hurry up and say hello to the seniors. Conan noticed Pain's gaffe and said anxiously. Although his strength is good, it seems to be a bit different from what you said before. Conan, you shouldn't be fooled. Pain stared at Scorpion and said. Although Scorpion has shadow-level strength, but Pain has the Samsara Eye and controls 6 paths, so he is very confident in defeating Scorpion. Pen, you made a mistake. This is the senior. Conan broke into a cold sweat in his heart. How could Pain, who was usually calm and composed, become confused at this moment? You know, Lu Mu has the power to destroy the Kingdom of Rain. Pain moved his eyes over, but when he saw Lu Mu's appearance, his eyebrows furrowed into the character, Sichuan. Although the Samsara Eye is not as good as the Byakugan, it can clearly see the meridians and chakra flow in the human body. But you can indeed see more than ordinary eyes. At least you can vaguely feel the approximate content of the other party's chakra. But at this time, the senior was being complimented by Conan. The amount of chakra in the body is only that of genin, even the most common type of genin. Ninjas can change their appearance, gender and even age through ninjutsu. But only the chakra in the body cannot be faked. With such a chakra content, can ninjutsu be released as big as the giant sun? So there is only one explanation now, and that is that Conan was deceived. This black coat with red clouds represents the faith and honor of the Akatsuki organization. Any ninja who is committed to changing the world can wear it, but only liars cannot wear it. Pain snorted coldly, and the chakra in his body began to surge. The shock wave formed by chakra is like a wave, pushing outward layer by layer. Lu Mu couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. Who is Pain? That was one person who ruined Konoha's existence. If it weren't for Naruto Uzumaki's invincible rhetoric, Hokage Ninja would probably have ended hundreds of episodes ahead of schedule. Offending such a being is like stepping into the gate of hell. But I already got the reward anyway, so I just ran away. Since I'm not welcome, then I'll leave. Pen, what are you doing? Conan, who had always been gentle and kind, couldn't help it anymore and shouted anxiously and angrily. Conan, I don't know what happened before, you actually believed him so much. But since that's the case, then I will expose his scam. Pain said and turned to look at Lu Mu, his aura gradually bursting out. If Pain was a sleeping tiger before, then this tiger has completely woken up now. And he was facing Lu Mu, showing his sharp minions. So, senior, can you show me your strength? Ding dong. It is detected that the host is under threat, trigger the task. If you accept the battle with Pain, the mission will reward you with 5% of the awakening progress. If you refuse, you will self-destruct and then look for the next lucky host. Lu Mu's mouth twitched. I didn't expect the system to be so capable of causing trouble. For a genin to challenge a shadow-level master is simply to die. But since refusing is also death, it is better to accept, maybe there is still a little hope. Okay, I promise you. Lu Mu agreed very simply, which made Pain panic. Originally, he thought of fighting in the room, but after Lu Mu's words, Pain became less confident. Regardless of winning or losing, the villagers of the country of Rain must not be affected. Let's go fight outside the village. Pain said as he waved one hand and his whole body floated. Lu Mu's eyes suddenly showed envy. At this time Conan walked over consciously, said with a wry smile, Senior, I will take you there, I just hope you can be merciful. Lu Mu had a kind smile on his face. Let a genin be merciful to a shadow-level master, Conan, you can really do that. Why don't you just lie on the ground and let Pain rub him? In Conan's arms, Lu Mu came to the outskirts of the Kingdom of Rain. At this time, Pain was waiting early. When he saw Conan flying with Lu Mu, Pain felt even more unhappy. Such a master, he needs someone else to help him when he's on the road. Is it possible that you don't have enough chakra? Pain said with a sarcastic smile. There was a hint of jealousy in his words. Lu Mu rolled his eyes. You can go by yourself, but Pain, can you afford to wait? Okay, we're not here to talk, let's get started. After Lu Mu finished speaking, he suddenly became serious. Although Pain is controlled remotely by Nagato, he also has the ability of the Samsara Eye due to his Samsara Eye. As the way of heaven, Pain can even control gravity. Rely on gravity to defeat your enemies. Although Lu Mu knew Pain's weaknesses, there was a huge gap between the two. Wanting to defeat Pain is tantamount to wishful thinking. The only chance of victory now is to rely on the special effects given by the system. Then Lu Mu quickly formed seals with his hands. He was using the most basic ninjutsu, the clone technique among the 3 body techniques, in an attempt to confuse Pain. But as the last seal ended, the entire sky darkened. Lu Mu raised his head in confusion. At this time, there was only a little light left in the sky, and the shape of the light looked like a door. The door slowly opened. A beam of light came out from the crack of the door and fell on everyone. And this beam of light turned into the shape of a staircase, as if to welcome this. What the hell is this ninjutsu? Pain said with a hint of fear in his voice. Although I didn't feel any threatening atmosphere from the beam. But that incredible door, like a beam of light shining from heaven, stimulated Pain's heart again and again. The fighting spirit in his heart also gradually faded under the illumination of the light beam. I secretly regretted it in my heart. Why didn't you listen to Conan and provoke Lu Mu? And this technique doesn't end there. A figure gradually appeared in the door and walked out slowly. Every step you take is accompanied by waves of fairy sounds. Listening to this fairy sound, Pain felt that his soul had been cleansed. The previous pain and sadness also gradually faded away in my mind. Finally the figure walked out of the door. Although there was strong light, several people could not see the figure's facial features clearly. But the aura that continued to spread from his body made Pain want to kneel down and offer the most pious worship. Pain looked at the scene in front of him in disbelief. Although I don't know who this figure is. But you can completely suppress yourself with the Samsara Eye just by relying on your momentum. Then the terror of its strength has reached an incredible level. Maybe it has surpassed the legendary Sage of 6 Paths. The figure did not stop because of Pain's reaction, but still walked down step by step at a steady pace. As the figure gradually approached, the facial features hidden in the strong light gradually became clear. But when he saw that face clearly, Pain was completely stunned. That young face of 12 or 13 years old, who else could it be if it wasn't Lu Mu? And the difference between him and Lu Mu. A mediocre person with nothing special about him other than being handsome. One is like a direct immortal, showing extraordinary temperament in every gesture. It's clear who is strong and who is weak. Suddenly Pain had a bold idea. As we all know in the shadow clone technique, the clone cannot be stronger than the main body. Then the two Lu Mu in front of them, obviously the man walking out of the door above is the real body. What Conan brought back was nothing more than shadow clone. In this way, everything is easy to explain, and Lu Mu's identity is also obvious. Immortal. A true immortal, not the so-called immortals like those in Shigu Forest, Mount Myoboku, and Ryachi Cave. Rather, he is an immortal who can change the world with every move he makes. Pain finally understood why Conan admired Lu Mu so much. Anyone who meets an immortal will turn into a blind-licking dog. But Pain wasn't ready to back down just like that. Although he knew that Lu Mu was an immortal, there was a huge gap in strength between him and him. But Pain still wanted to give it a try. How big is the strength gap between this superior immortal and myself? Then Pain slowly raised his trembling hand and grabbed Lu Mu hard. All things are attracted by heaven. As soon as he finished speaking, an astonishing gravitational force was drawn towards Pain. The surrounding ground continued to crack, and gravel floated up. Then he quickly attracted towards Pain. But Lu Mu was not affected at all. Even his clothes and hair were not moved at all. Pain's attack was like a child playing house, without any effect. Pain was desperate. I never thought that I would be so vulnerable. Lu Mu, who was standing aside, looked at Pain inexplicably. He failed to use his ultimate move towards his clone, which caused him to feel a sense of frustration. I'm afraid there is only pain in this world. Pain looked at the godlike man in front of him in frustration, with an expression of relief on his face. Wanxiong Tianyan grabbed it, but didn't catch anything. It's like nothingness. If he hadn't known about Lu Emu's existence, Pain would have almost thought that this godlike man was just a clone. Pain closed his eyes. Be prepared to accept the punishment for your arrogance. It's not that Pain doesn't want to struggle. Pain also has a reason and motivation to live. But in the face of Lu Emu's absolute strength, Pain's resistance was useless. Conan also recovered from his sluggishness. He quickly knelt down in front of Lu Mu, who was like a god. Senior, please spare Pain. He definitely has no bad intentions. He just wants to contribute more to the world. Lu Mu looked at the pleading Conan and couldn't help but roll his eyes. You require people to see their goals clearly. What does it mean to kneel down and beg for a clone? The rightful owner is here. But the pretense is enough. If Pain were forced to do a planetary devastation, he wouldn't have anywhere to cry. Lu Mu then lifted the clone technique. As long as Senior is willing to spare Pain, I am willing to do anything. I am willing to serve Senior as my master. Conan gritted his teeth and begged when Lu Mu didn't respond. In order to realize the dream, in order to fulfill Yahiko's legacy. Akatsuki organization can lose itself, but it can never lose Pain. After Conan finished speaking, he raised his head and glanced up secretly. Lu Mu, who was almost completely down the stairs, lightly brushed his sleeves, then turned around and walked back step by step. Conan felt joy in his heart. After his own pleading and some price, Pain was finally safe. But he lost his freedom. From now on, I will live as a slave. But Conan didn't feel depressed at all, but instead felt a little happy. Through Pain's operation, Lu Emu's chances of joining the Akatsuki organization plummeted to almost zero. You can tie yourself to Lu Mu. Although he has not officially joined the Akatsuki organization, due to the relationship between the two, he might be able to help at a critical moment. So no matter what, Akatsuki organization has made money. Lu Mu looked at Conan inexplicably. I really had no idea about this. But who knew that a clone technique would sway so much when released? Perfectly misunderstood everyone. Moreover, Lu Mu felt that the way Pain looked at him was wrong. If he really takes Conan with him, Pain might jump over the wall and jump straight up to fight for his life. The most important thing now is to appease him. I like the idea of the Akatsuki organization very much. I will dedicate myself to this world. I will still join the Akatsuki organization, but forget it as a slave. Lu Mu said, looking at Pain nervously. Pain originally had a green and unwilling look in his eyes, but after listening to Lu Mu's words, a look of self-blame appeared on his face. This is a man worthy of admiration. He obviously has the ability to reach the sky, but even so, when provoked by others, he can still accept the other party calmly. What's this? This is the saint. Pain regretted it very much. Why was he so suspicious of Lu Mu? There are thousands of things I want to say in my heart, but I don't know how to say them. Xie looked at Pain unhappily. I was annoyed with Pain from the beginning. How dare you question Lu Mu's ability? This is simply blasphemy. And I also doubt Pain's strength. You must know that you have taken over Lu Mu's 2 ninjutsu, and you have to admit defeat under the last resort. And Pain can't even handle a ninjutsu. This difference in strength can be seen at a glance. Okay, Senior has already said that he is willing to join the Akatsuki organization. Do you want to accept it or not? Xie said impatiently. Lu Mu suddenly rolled his eyes. As soon as he was comforted, Scorpio started to provoke. This is completely because I don't know how miserable my death will be, and I want to experience it in advance. But anyway, this is a matter between Scorpion and Pain, so just don't implicate yourself. You are all just playing puppets anyway, so you can have a good discussion. Xie glanced at Lu Mu doubtfully, his head filled with question marks. Pain, on the other hand, trembled all over. I originally thought that I hid it well and defeated Lu Mu in this aspect. Unexpectedly, he was still seen through. At this moment, Pain was completely convinced. Completely give up the idea of defeating Lu Mu in some way. I am convinced by Lu Mu, but that does not mean I am convinced by Xie. He actually dared to provoke himself, and when he was worried that he had nowhere to vent his anger, the Scorpion jumped out. The most important thing is that Lu Mu also agreed to the fight between the two. I know you, Red Sand Scorpion. I have heard of your name, but in terms of strength, I have never tried it. Then I'll try it with you. Xie said and took out the scroll directly, and an exquisite puppet was summoned directly. Strangely, the puppet is wearing Kage's iconic coat. The battle between Scorpion and Pain soon began. Scorpio, who was originally full of confidence, couldn't even hold on for 3 seconds and went straight into a disadvantage. The puppet's ability is completely restrained by Tiandao Pain's ability. Scorpion had no chance to enter the attack range. Pain, on the other hand, can suck the Scorpion directly from a distance of more than 10 meters. The battle then turned into a one-sided crushing battle. How arrogant Scorpion was before, how pitiful he was beaten now. Not long after, Scorpion's face was already bruised and swollen. Pain breathed a long sigh of relief, and the haze in his heart disappeared. If Xie hadn't been Lu Emu's follower, he would have been dead by now. Although Scorpio looks miserable now, he is actually not hurt at all internally. Senior, I feel that my strength has reached a bottleneck. Is there any way you can help me improve in a short time? Lu Mu was sleeping soundly when Xie came up to him with a big pig's head on his head. It really scared Lu Mu. Senior, I have an idea to transform myself into a puppet so that my control over the puppet can be improved to a higher level. Senior, what do you think? Lu Mu rolled his eyes. After Scorpion transformed his body, his strength has indeed improved a lot. If it weren't for showing mercy, Granny Chio and Haruno Sakura combined would not be Scorpion's match. But if the body is modified, then Scorpio is no longer a human being, and will become more and more indifferent to human feelings. Completely turned into a killing machine. Nothing can be achieved overnight. If you want to improve your strength, you can only rely on your own continuous training. Transforming yourself into a puppet can improve your strength in a short period of time, but the growth limit of a puppet is far inferior to that of a human body. After Lu Mu finished speaking, he kicked Scorpion out. At this time, Scorpion's eyes were blurred and his head was a mess. I originally thought that changing the body into a puppet was the most genius choice. But after being told by Lu Mu, it suddenly became enlightened, and all doubts were cleared up instantly. Human beings are the spirit of all things and have endless possibilities in cultivation. But before, I almost gave up my rights as a human being and the possibility of unlimited growth just for the sake of promotion in a short period of time. Xie thought, quickly kowtowed on the ground a few times, then turned around and left to start training. As Lu Emu's follower, his strength must not be so weak. On the other side, in Nagato's room, Nagato kept recalling the scene during the day. The feeling of escaping from death made Nagato breathe a sigh of relief. Nagato believed it very much. If Lu Mu is willing, he can definitely find his position through pain. At this moment, a figure slowly emerged from the void. The first one to come out was an orange swirl mask, followed closely by Akatsuki organization's red cloud and black coat. Nagato, what happened to your fairyland today? The masked man said solemnly. It's a sage has come to this world, Nagato said excitedly. The scene before his eyes seemed to have returned to the previous one. Lu Mu, who was like a god, slowly walked up to him. The masked man looked at Nagato as if he were an idiot. If he had time, he would definitely investigate it carefully, but now there was an emergency in the Kingdom of Water, and he had to rush there immediately. As for the special trip to the Kingdom of Rain, it was actually for the layout of the Kingdom of Fire. The Uchiha clan's arrangements are almost complete. If not for the sudden incident in the Kingdom of Water, the masked man would definitely stay in Konaha village. Okay, let's not talk about the fairy light for now. Now I will arrange a mission for you. Arrive in the land of fire before tomorrow night and find a man named Uchiha Itachi. Nagato frowned. He was tied to the Gedo statue. Unlike ordinary ninjas who could attack quickly, it was very difficult to travel long distances. Although the Kingdom of Water is adjacent to Konaha village, it is very difficult to reach Konaha village within one day. I'm afraid it's a little difficult. The masked man looked a little impatient. If Nagato hadn't had the Samsara Eye, he would have killed him directly. I don't care what method you use, you must contact Uchiha Itachi tomorrow evening. This is crucial to the development of the Akatsuki organization. The masked man threw the Akatsuki organization out, and Nagato could only shut his mouth obediently. I accepted this mission. Nagato thought for a long time before slowly speaking. Although the Akatsuki organization has more members now, there are fewer people available to Nagato. At least Konan could be used to run errands before. Now that Konan is under Lu Emu's name, if you want to transfer Konan, you must get Lu Emu's permission. As for Scorpio, it goes without saying. He is completely Lu Emu's follower. So this time when I went to Konaha village to perform a mission, I only asked Lu Mu. It seems that we need to add more manpower. Pen, are you looking for me? Lu Mu came to Payne's office sleepily. Payne, who was sitting on the chair with his legs crossed, immediately stood up respectfully. Senior, you're here. Sit down quickly. Payne smiled attentively. Lu Mu was a little overwhelmed. Say it, don't beat around the bush. Lu Mu said angrily. Seeing Lu Mu being so direct, Payne smiled helplessly, with bitterness on his face. Originally, I wasn't going to send you on a mission, but now that the Akatsuki organization has just been established, there aren't many people who can go on missions. Now I just hope you can lend me Scorpion or Konan. Payne felt helpless as he spoke. He is obviously the leader of the Akatsuki organization, but he still needs the approval of others for his personal use. It is really a failure for the leader to do this. But Payne has no regrets at all about inviting Lu Mu to join. After all, as long as Lu Mu is here, there is no need to be afraid of any shadow-level powerhouse. Even the ninja god Senju Hashirama would have to stay away. Task. Lu Mu looked a little curious. In the early days of its establishment, the Akatsuki organization was very conservative. Relations with the 5 major countries are also good. After all, the 5 major countries always have some tasks that they cannot take part in, and they all benefit the Akatsuki organization. This is also due to the strong abilities of the Akatsuki organization members. There is a mission in Konaha village that I need to go to. The mission is very simple. Just go through the motions. There is no danger at all. Ding dong. Agree to go to Konaha village. Reward 10% of awakening progress. Lu Emu's eyes suddenly lit up. Even if there is no system mission, Lu Mu will agree to go to Konaha village. Konaha village can be said to be the center of Hokage ninjas. There are many characters in Konaha village who are familiar to Lu Mu. At first Lu Mu also wanted to join Konaha and follow the protagonist team, but unexpectedly he joined the Akatsuki organization by accident. I originally thought I would never have the chance to go to Konaha village again. Unexpectedly, the mission of Konaha village came the next day. Is there really no danger? Of course there's no danger. Konaha village's vitality was severely damaged during the last ninja war, and then it experienced the Nine Tails Rebellion, plus constant internal fighting. It can be said that the current Konaha village is riddled with holes. Every member of the Akatsuki organization has cage-level strength. What dangers can there be in going to Konaha now? Hearing Payne's affirmative answer, Lu Emu's eyes suddenly lit up. Since he had the opportunity to go to Konaha, Lu Mu would not miss it. Although the protagonist team is still young now, the appeal of Ichiraku Ramen is still very strong. If you have the chance, definitely give it a try. For this mission in Konaha, Scorpion and I will go. Konan will stay in the Akatsuki organization at your disposal. Ding dong. Choice is over. Arousal level increased by 10%. The arousal level is now 21%. Payne was stunned for a moment, and then an expression of ecstasy appeared on his face. If Lu Mu can go to Konaha village, then this mission is absolutely foolproof. After all, with Lu Emu's strength, even if the third Hokage takes action, they will have to stay away. Moreover, if Konan stays, there will be a few alternate members that Konan can come out to win over. Simply the perfect choice. Since Senior has blocked this task, I won't delegate it to anyone else. Payne said and handed a scroll to Lu Mu. This is a requirement for this mission, you can take a look at it in advance. Lu Mu happily opened the scroll. There is not much content on the scroll, just a few words. Meet Uchiha Itachi outside Konaha village in the evening and assist Uchiha Itachi. Lu Emu's eyes suddenly lit up. Weasel God. It can be said that among Hokage ninjas, both strength and IQ are online. Although there is some controversy in some settings. But I have to say that he is a likable character. Even Lu Mu is no exception. I didn't expect that this time I would not only be able to go to Konaha village, but also meet the legendary Itachi god. It was definitely a double blessing. But after Lu Mu calculated a little, it seemed that there was something wrong. Time. Character. Ding. Lu Mu's heart trembled violently. At this point in time, plus Uchiha Itachi, isn't it the bloody night of the Uchiha clan? This was the night the Uchiha clan was destroyed. The entire Uchiha clan, except Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Sasuke, all fell. Go on this kind of mission with your own genin. It's because he didn't die quickly enough. Lu Mu twitched the corner of his mouth and forced a smile on his face. Can I not go on this mission? Every ninja mission is highly confidential. If the senior has not opened the mission scroll, it doesn't matter whether he goes or not, but now. Lu Mu was dying. Why would you want to go out into troubled waters this time? It wouldn't be nice to just lie at home and let Conan take care of you. Chapter 11. Fire Nation. Konaha Village, within the Anbu Root Organization. Konaha's Anbu is divided into two departments. One department is directly under the Hokage's Anbu, which generally handles superficial tasks. One department is headed by Danzo Shimura's Gen, who handles some shady tasks. At this time, Shimura Danzo frowned and looked at the documents in front of him. A huge sun fell from the sky in the Kingdom of Wind, and then disappeared inexplicably. The Land of Rain is full of fairy spirit. Although there are many informants in Konaha in the Kingdom of Wind, the third-generation Kazekage was killed inexplicably not long ago, and the entire Kingdom of Wind was under martial law, and all the informants in the Kingdom of Wind lost contact. As for the strangeness in the Land of Rain, Shimura Danzo didn't pay much attention to it. The country of Rain has been completely taken over by the Akatsuki organization after a coup. You must know that the previous leader of the Akatsuki organization was tricked to death by himself. In addition, Orochimaru has been contacted and asked to sneak into the Akatsuki organization. It is only a matter of time to find out what exactly happened. Shimura Danzo thought and continued to move his eyes away. Nine-Tails' seal is loose. Shimura Danzo's eyebrows wrinkled again. Unexpectedly, the magical energy of the Kingdom of Rain overflowed and caused the Nine-Tails riot. Moreover, Nine-Tails Jinchuriki Uzumaki Naruto has become increasingly unstable recently. That guy from third generation's methods are nothing more than this. If he continues, he will have no choice but to use distinguished heavenly gods. Shimura Danzo said, gently lifting up his sleeves, revealing a blood-red eye. Master Shimura. Shimura Danzo heard a sound outside the door and immediately pulled up his sleeves to cover the Sharingan on his arm. Not long after, a young man walked in. The fox mask on his face proves his identity is Anbu. Itachi, are you ready? For the sake of peace in Konaha, the mission must be completed today. The boy took off the fox mask from his face. Master Shimura, everything has been arranged. I still mean that, you must ensure Sasuke's safety. Shimura Danzo frowned. When Uchiha Shisui was asked to use distinguished heavenly gods on Uchiha Itachi, he didn't expect Uchiha Itachi to be so obsessed with his younger brother. Still thinking about protecting him. Originally, he wanted to eliminate the root cause, but now that Uchiha Itachi is still useful, he can only nod in agreement. Don't worry Itachi, Sasuke will receive the best education then, marry a wife, have children and live a stable life. Okay, remember what you said. Uchiha Itachi said, and his figure disappeared instantly. As soon as Uchiha Itachi disappeared, Shimura Danzo immediately showed an expression of disgust on his face, and then sneered. Although he can't do it himself, Uchiha Sasuke is a ninja, isn't it easy to deal with him? After Uchiha Sasuke officially becomes a ninja, he can simply change an A-level mission into a C-level mission and it will be completely solved. No clues will be left. Although Uchiha Itachi is powerful, he is still a little weak in power. Shimura Danzo thought with a smile on his face again. But this time, it was several times colder than before. After Lu Mu came to the ninja world, he relied on his own foot power for the first time to travel. The previous words were all about Conan hugging him and flying straight up. Not only can you travel quickly and efficiently, but you can also feel a touch of human warmth on the back of your head. The only drawback is that there is no windshield and it gets too cold on the face. It would be perfect if you could flip it over. Finally arrived. Lu Mu breathed a sigh of relief and finally arrived at the outskirts of Konaha village at the scheduled time. Before he could completely gain a foothold, a figure suddenly jumped out. Although he wears a fox mask on his face, he can still see the blood-red pupils under the mask. Replacement. Uchiha Itachi looked a little unhappy. What happened tonight is crucial to the future stability of Konaha village. Unexpectedly, there was a temporary substitution. You know, if this news spreads, Konaha village will usher in an unprecedented civil strife. And even if someone else comes, they can't bring a 12 or 13-year-old child with them. However, Danzo Shimura gave an ultimatum, and Uchiha Itachi had no choice but to agree. After all, the chakra on the scorpion looks very scary. Okay, let's enter Konaha village with me first. Uchiha Itachi said and walked away minding his own business, completely ignoring the reactions of Lu Mu and Chie behind him. Under the leadership of Uchiha Itachi, Lu Mu easily entered Konaha village and was outside the Uchiha family. Seeing the geographical location of the Uchiha clan, Lu Mu couldn't help but smile. One of the most powerful families in Konaha village, the Uchiha clan, is not located in the core area of Konaha village but in the very corner. In this remote corner, except for the Uchiha family, I am afraid that only Anbu who is watching will come. No wonder Bloody Night was discovered only after the fact. It's entirely because it's so remote. Today's task is very simple, that is to help me kill people. No one in the buildings in front of me can see the sun the next day. Uchiha Itachi said, with a sad look in his eyes, and then quickly shook his head to return to normal, and continued to assign tasks. First pointed at Scorpion, you come in with me. Uchiha Itachi said and turned to Lu Mu, you stay here and don't allow anyone to enter, especially a child named Sasuke. Lu Mu guarded the only way to the Uchiha clan. Behind them, the Uchiha clan began to shout screams of men, women, old and young. Apparently the action has officially begun. Although the Uchiha clan is located in a remote place, they are within the Leaf Village after all. The roars came out, and anyone who was not deaf should be able to hear them. But there was no reaction at all in Konaha village. They all seemed to be selectively ignoring it. In the final analysis, it is all the root causes behind the scenes. But this is exactly what Lu Mu meant. In this way, there will be no conflict with other ninjas, and I will be relatively safe. At this moment, a young man wearing a fox mask appeared in front of Lu Mu. Lu Mu, who was lying comfortably, suddenly sat up and looked at the other party carefully. The boy is dressed in iconic outfits, and almost everyone in Anbu is dressed like this. But his white broom head made Lu Mu recognize him immediately. Hatake Kakashi. Hatake Kakashi was stunned for a moment. He didn't expect that the strange boy in front of him actually recognized him. Moreover, the red cloud and black coat on Lu Mu's body did not look like a ninja from Konaha village. Who are you and why are you in Konaha? Hatake Kakashi took out his kunai and shouted angrily. Lu Mu panicked. Although Hatake Kakashi is famous for his lack of blue, he is also very powerful. No matter how strong the opponent is, he can still attack him with 2 moves. But that's only for a shadow-level master. For Lu Mu, who only has Genin now, it's just a little brother with 1 punch. Didn't you receive the order? Lu Mu said tentatively. After all, it is absolutely impossible for Anbu to say that Anbu did not receive the order to evacuate such a big matter for the Uchiha clan. So I can only rely on this to bluff Hatake Kakashi. Hatake Kakashi hesitated. After all, I really received an order from 3rd Hokage today. No one is allowed to approach the Uchiha clan tonight. Now seeing the shouts everywhere in the Uchiha clan, I instantly understood the meaning of this order. Hatake Kakashi hesitated for a moment. Then he took off the fox mask, revealing the iconic mask, and then pulled up his forehead protector with one hand, revealing the blood-red Sharingan. I am not on duty right now, so that order is of no use to me. Hatake Kakashi said, picking up the kunai and waving it twice in front of him. There was a trace of cruelty on his face. Then let me ask you next, as a ninja from another village, why do you come to our Konaha village? Hatake Kakashi's last words were almost shouted. A dangerous aura gradually appeared on his body. Lu Mu knew very well that as long as he made any changes, Hatake Kakashi would definitely take action without mercy. After all, the 2 camps are now in different camps. Ding dong. Since the system wake-up rate exceeds 20%, the current phase of the task is now issued. Ding dong. Obtain the mission. Resist the attack of Konaha village ninjas. Mission fixed reward. Intermediate ninjutsu gift pack. Immediate reward. Distributed according to the completion of the mission. Lu Mu felt happy. Unexpectedly, the system can obtain system tasks even if the system is not fully awakened. At least with the system, the strength can be significantly improved. But the difficulty of the task is not small. If you want to rely on Genin's strength to stop Hokage Kakashi, you will die. But now Lu Mu has no choice but to bite the bullet. You don't want to say it, and you don't want to leave. Hokage Kakashi snorted coldly, and his body gradually showed murderous aura. At this moment, a smaller figure ran over. He was carrying a small satchel on his back, and his face was filled with an expression of joy. Who is it if it's not Uchiha Sasuke? But when Uchiha Sasuke saw a familiar place not far away, which was burning brightly, the joy on his face suddenly froze. What was originally a cheerful little step now turned into a desperate run. The mission given to Lu Mu by Uchiha Itachi is to stop Uchiha Sasuke. With Lu Mu's current strength, he could easily stop Uchiha Sasuke. After all, Hokage Kakashi can't be beaten, but bullying Uchiha Sasuke, who is still studying, is easy. But now that there is Hokage Kakashi standing next to him, things suddenly become difficult. Just when Lu Mu was hesitating whether to stop Uchiha Sasuke, a familiar voice came to his ears again. Ding dong. Trigger the selected task. Stop Uchiha Sasuke. Reward. Jonin quality. Put Uchiha Sasuke over. Reward. Perfect fit for Sharingan. I'll go on another mission. Lu Mu felt a burst of joy in his heart. Unexpectedly, in a short period of time, 2 tasks came at once. And the mission rewards are very good. This is still at an arousal level of 21%. If it were 100% awakened, it would not be able to take off from the same spot. As for the choice this time, do you still need to choose? Although Jonin's quality can solve urgent needs, it does not have much benefit for long-term development. It's better to fight directly. Just choose the second option. You must know that when the Hokage ninja reaches the later stage, it is the world of cosmetic contact lenses. And this Sharingan is different from Hokage Kakashi. Hokage Kakashi's Sharingan was given to him by Uchiha Obito. Although it is very powerful, Hokage Kakashi does not have the physique of the Uchiha clan and cannot manually turn off the Sharingan. Sharingan can only be allowed to consume its own chakra. But the system rewards are completely different. It's a perfect fit for Sharingan. In other words, Lu Mu can turn off and on Sharingan freely. It won't be as severely lacking in mana as Hokage Kakashi. And with Sharingan, maybe we can really gain a foothold. So Lu Mu let Uchiha Sasuke run over. There is no hindrance. As for Uchiha Itachi, we can only wait until then. Ding dong. Because host let Uchiha Sasuke go, he was rewarded, a perfect fit for Sharingan. The moment the system sounds, Lu Mu felt as if his eyes were being bitten by thousands of ants. That heartbreaking feeling kept stimulating Lu Mu's brain nerves. After about a minute, the pain gradually subsided. For Lu Mu, this minute felt like a century had passed. And when Lu Mu opened his eyes again, he felt that the whole world had changed. Things that were previously invisible can now be seen clearly. Even the meridians on the distant leaves can be seen clearly. This is still without turning on Sharingan. Then Lu Mu tried to transport chakra into his eyes, and his eyes that had just stopped started to move rapidly again. The black pupils turned into blood red in an instant. And in the blood red pupils, 3 black commas were clearly revealed. 3 Magatama Sharingan. No one can pass through here today. Sharingan. Uchiha clan. Hokage Kakashi suddenly became serious. Although I also have a Sharingan, it seems a bit inadequate when meeting the real Uchiha clan. After all, with my own body, many of Sharingan's wonderful functions cannot be used. But no matter what, Lu Mu is only as strong as Genin, so what if he is stronger? Hokage Kakashi thought, and rushed towards Lu Mu quickly with a kunai. Lu Mu immediately mobilized Sharingan. It stands to reason that the movements that were originally unclear can now be seen clearly, and even Hokage Kakashi's next step can be deduced. But Lu Mu knew in his heart that these alone were not enough to deal with Hokage Kakashi. Then he quickly formed seals with his hands. Lu Mu felt that the chakra in his body was rising rapidly. As the last tiger seal lit up, the chakra in his body suddenly reached a peak. Fire style. Great fireball technique. As Lu Mu blew hard, the chakra was like fuel, turning into a raging fire when it passed the tiger mark on his hand. Hotake Kakashi saw Lu Mu's seal and had a disapproving expression on his face. Genin is able to perform the Great Fireball technique, which must be said to be very good. But using the Great Fireball technique to deal with yourself is undoubtedly a failed choice. The Great Fireball technique chakra consumes a lot of money, which is a huge expense for Genin. Moreover, the Great Fireball technique flies slowly, and without the cooperation of other ninjutsu, it is difficult to hit the target. Especially myself who owns Sharingan. The trajectory of the Great Fireball technique has long been seen. It seems I was too careful. Hotake Kakashi smiled and shook his head. But just when Hotake Kakashi was about to escape, he was stunned. The sky, which had been completely plunged into darkness, was now as bright as day. And this light is not white light like daylight, but reddish-brown. It's like standing next to a fire. And this light and sea is accompanied by unbearable heat. Hotake Kakashi stopped and couldn't help but raise his head. It doesn't matter if you don't look. Hotake Kakashi immediately trembled when he saw it, and a trace of cold sweat appeared on his cheeks. Fireball. Huge fireball. A fireball that covers the sky. Rather than saying it is a fireball, Hotake Kakashi prefers to believe that it is the sun that is infinitely drawn closer. Because no matter which direction you look, you can't see the edge of this fireball. If this fireball falls on the ground, it will fall on the Leaf Village. Hotake Kakashi doesn't know about other places, but Konaha will definitely be burned down to ashes. For a moment, Hotake Kakashi thought of the giant sun over the land of wind. Exactly the same, and the person who caused all this turned out to be just the young man in front of him. The boy in front of me has only Genin chakra. Hotake Kakashi shook his head quickly. Sharingan immediately started running at high speed. Sharingan can see through all illusions. Because Hotake Kakashi didn't believe that someone could perform such ninjutsu. Especially a boy of 12 or 13 years old. Sharingan operates rapidly, and Hotake Kakashi's insight ability rises rapidly. The lines on the fireball also began to become clearer. But it was because of this that Hotake Kakashi's back was soaked. Because no matter how Sharingan looks at it, it proves that the fireball in front of him is not an illusion, but a real existence. Even Hotake Kakashi felt that his hair had been burned by the high temperature and smelled like protein. This is real. It is real. Hotake Kakashi regretted why he wanted to provoke Lu Mu. If he didn't provoke Lu Mu, he wouldn't be able to use this ninjutsu. You know, if this fireball hits, no one in Konaha village will survive. And you will become a sinner. Nailed on the pillar of shame forever. Suddenly, Hotake Kakashi came to his senses. If the giant sun above the kingdom of wind can disappear, then can the sun above Konaha also disappear. Thinking of this, Hotake Kakashi immediately shouted loudly. Quick, stop this ninjutsu. Due to the mask, Hotake Kakashi's voice was a little dull, but the anxiety in his tone could not be concealed at all. I'm afraid that if I delay even 1 second, the fireball will be completely smashed down. Hotake Kakashi secretly decided in his heart that he would be willing to pay any price as long as the fireball didn't hit him. As long as you are willing to let go of Konaha village, I am willing to agree to anything. As soon as Hotake Kakashi finished speaking, he was instantly enveloped in a ball of flame. The hair on the clothes was directly ignited. Make a sizzling sound. But Hotake Kakashi felt a sense of joy in his heart. The fireball that covered the sky disappeared, leaving only the damage of a great fireball technique. In other words, the young man in front of him stopped. I was secretly amazed in my heart. Being able to instantly control that huge fireball to the size of a great fireball jutsu, this control alone is unmatched by anyone in the entire Konaha village. I'm afraid no one in the entire ninja world can complete it. Only the gods in the sky have this kind of control, just like a miracle. Konaha village. About 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening. The entire Konaha village was dark, with only the lights in the room still flickering. The people on the street have disappeared, only scattered passers-by are still on their way. But at this moment, the sky suddenly lit up. Everyone stuck their heads out of the windows and looked at the sky curiously. Set off fireworks. Mom, it's dawn, can I go out to play? Did I drink too much fake wine? Why is it so dark? But when everyone looked up and saw the fiery red fireball that was approaching, everyone stayed in place. That's right, I must have drank too much fake wine. Mom, the sun is so bright. Is it the end of the world? What the hell happened? Suddenly the alarm bell of Konaha village rang. Only then did the villagers react. This was not a dream, but an unprecedented crisis. If such a great fireball were to hit it, no one would be able to survive. Konaha village, which should have been quiet for a while, was completely boiling. The ninjas who had just returned home from get-off work put on their clothes and ran out. Some people didn't even have time to put on their clothes, so they just picked up their ninja tools and ran outside. But when they ran outside, everyone was desperate. How could human beings resist such a huge fireball? Even if there are more ninjas in Konaha village and no matter how powerful the Hokage is, so what? When faced with such a fireball, all ninjutsu seemed so pale and helpless. Then the ninjas who had just ran out dropped their ninja tools and walked back home, hugging their families. Because they know that everyone will leave this world completely in the next second. If you don't hug me, it will be too late. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen and Shimura Danzo, the leader of the route, came to the highest rooftop at the same time. He looked up at the fireball that seemed to destroy the world. Konaha is finished, Sarutobi Hiruzen said unwillingly. In front of such a fireball, even the most knowledgeable third Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen, was helpless. It can be said that human beings are like ants in front of this fireball, and there is no way they can resist at all. Shimura Danzo made fists with both hands. His nails had dug into the flesh of his palms without even realizing it, and his whole body was trembling non-stop. My mind is constantly working, but I can't do anything about it. Old man, give up. This is Konaha's fate. This is the fate of the entire ninja world. There is no way to escape it. Sarutobi Hiruzen said and took a greedy puff of his pipe. After all, this may be the last bite in this life. Shimura Danzo loosened his fists, his body stopped shaking, and then let out a long sigh. Little monkey, I'm tired. Shimura Danzo knew that in the face of such a fireball, any tactics were useless, and the Hokage's position was like a joke. It's time to wake up from the dream, everything will return to chaos. Watching the old man leave, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't say much, but shook his head helplessly. But at this moment, the fireball suddenly kept shrinking. The fireball that was originally like the sun disappeared quickly like a deflated rubber ball. In a short period of time, the sky turned into darkness again. The hope after despair made the entire village of Konaha burst into excitement. Everyone knelt on the ground and kowtowed in the direction where the fireball disappeared. To express your inner joy. Come and thank God for not killing. For a moment, Konaha village seemed to have arrived at a celebration, with cheers, joy, and tears of joy filling the entire village. Some people even danced on the street to express their unspeakable joy. This scene made Sarutobi Hiruzen look a little overwhelmed. It was obvious that the fireball just now was not genjutsu. But the fireball that came and went quickly was even more mysterious than genjutsu. Sarutobi Hiruzen even wondered if he had smoked too many cigarettes and damaged his brain. But Sarutobi Hiruzen knew that now was not the time to rejoice. The direction where the fireball finally disappeared was in Konaha village. In order to prevent a worse situation from happening, we must find out. Little monkey, where did the fireball disappear at the end? Shimura Danzo said solemnly. It is definitely a major dereliction of duty by Anbu and Gen to not know that such a big thing happened. He must find out the whole story. Sarutobi Hiruzen picked up the cigarette bag and was about to smoke it when a look of disgust appeared on his face. Then he threw the tobacco pouch directly on the ground. The direction where the fireball disappeared is the Uchiha clan. Hearing Sarutobi Hiruzen's answer, Shimura Danzo trembled all over, with an angry expression on his face. If it's the Uchiha clan, then everything is easy to explain. Shimura Danzo snorted. The Sharingan of the Uchiha clan is not only able to see through genjutsu, but is also very good at using genjutsu. It allows people to enter the genjutsu state without knowing it. Then everything that happened just now must be the method of the Uchiha family. Let me go, it's not convenient for you as a Hokage to do this kind of job. This is best, Sarutobi Hiruzen said and shook his head. When the sun rises tomorrow, the Uchiha clan will be completely eliminated from the ninja continent. Hatake Kakashi fell to the ground, still smoking. Under the half-burned mask, there was a smile of joy. Then Hatake Kakashi climbed up with difficulty and kowtowed heavily towards Lu Mu. This knock represents Hatake Kakashi's gratitude to Lu Mu. I am grateful to Lu Mu for not killing him. I am grateful to Lu Mu for his compassion for Konaha village. Lu Mu coughed twice in embarrassment. After being hit by the great fireball technique, you have to kowtow to yourself gratefully. This is not what Do-em is. Okay, the civilians of Konaha village have nothing to do with this matter, and I don't want to cause too much killing. Please step back first. Hatake Kakashi kowtowed again. Then he turned around and prepared to leave. As for what happened within the Uchiha clan, this is beyond Hatake Kakashi's control. After all, with Lu Mu's strength, he could destroy Konaha village with one move. If you really want to use any means, no one can stop it. Such a master would not bother to use any means. But at this moment, several figures appeared around. Each has an iconic fox mask on their face. The only man among them who did not wear a fox mask was Shimura Danzo, one of the top leaders of Konaha and the leader of Gen. Shimura Danzo frowned when he saw Hatake Kakashi covered in injuries. What happened to Kakashi? Hearing Shimura Danzo's voice, Hatake Kakashi panicked. It's not that Shimura Danzo is afraid of blaming himself. But Shimura Danzo cannot tolerate sand in his eyes. Anyone who is not a ninja from his own village is treated as a spy in the eyes of Shimura Danzo. It ranges from severe torture to direct execution. Lu Mu didn't have a forehead protector on him, and he had never been seen in the village before. With Shimura Danzo's character, he would never let him go. But, Lu Mu is a piece of iron. He is an existence that Shimura Danzo cannot afford to mess with. Not even Konaha village can afford to offend him. If you offend him, it will bring unprecedented disaster to Konaha. I'm fine. I was injured accidentally while practicing ninjutsu on my own. Shimura Danzo smiled sarcastically, then turned to look at Lu Mu. Lu Mu exudes the aura of a weakling, and the chakra content on his body can only be regarded as genin at best. When he saw Lu Mu's eyes, Shimura Danzo gradually showed a hint of murderous intent. Kill me. Lu Mu was stunned for a moment. I've heard that Shimura Danzo is domineering, but I didn't expect him to be so domineering. As soon as they met, they didn't say anything and directly ordered the killer. In an instant, two Anbu came to Lu Mu. The two short swords, shining with cold light, slashed towards Lu Mu in two directions. The direction of Lu Mu's escape was completely blocked. No, stop it, Hatake Kakashi screamed loudly. If Lu Mu is angered, no one present will be able to bear Lu Mu's anger. But it's still slow. I saw two short swords moving up and down, swiping across Lu Mu's body. Shimura Danzo's face showed no change when he saw this scene. It seems that this scene is commonplace. Kakashi, when the matter is over, I hope you can give me a reasonable explanation. Hatake Kakashi stayed where he was, his body trembling involuntarily, and the corners of his mouth raised slightly. It's too late for everything. Everyone looked at Hatake Kakashi inexplicably. I don't understand why the son of Konaha White Fang acts like a fool. At this moment, something happened to Lu Mu's body. The corpse gradually became transparent, and then turned into three transparent water snakes, twisting their bodies and flying out. What is frightening is that on the top of each water snake's head, there is a human face, with a pair of blood-red pupils shining on the human face, and the mouth is giggling. However, the transparent water snake did not stop because of this, but began to divide continuously. 1 point and 3, 3 points and 9, 9 minutes and 27. In a short period of time, the transparent water snake had surrounded everyone. And the divisions didn't stop there. Anbu was at a loss. I have never seen such a battle before, and my persevering heart started to tremble involuntarily. Don't be afraid, everyone, this is just that boy's genjutsu. Shimura Danzo snorted, very disappointed with this group of subordinates. A small genjutsu can scare everyone. Then he waved his sleeves and began to form seals with his hands. Open. Shimura Danzo gave a soft drink and opened his closed eyes. A stream of chakra is like a wave, pushing towards the outside with an astonishing power. Any genjutsu that encounters this kind of power will definitely be defeated. But the next second Shimura Danzo froze. The densely packed transparent water snakes did not disappear, but turned into familiar figures. Standing in front of Shimura Danzo was a man he would never forget. First Hokage Senju Hashirama, second Hokage Senju Tobirama. How can this be? Shimura Danzo, who had always been calm, could not calm down at this time. His legs were trembling and he had the urge to kneel down. Just then a figure slowly walked over. When Shimura Danzo saw him, cold sweat continued to flow from his forehead. Uchiha Madara. Shimura Danzo kept shaking his head. I couldn't believe what I was seeing was real. After all, whether it is first Hokage Senju Hashirama, second Hokage Senju Tobirama, or the last Uchiha Madara, they are all characters who have been dead for countless years. The appearance of these people made Shimura Danzo believe that the scene before him was real. But Shimura Danzo tried all his methods, but he couldn't see through and break this illusion. Experiment after experiment can only prove that the scene in front of you is real. At this time, Senju Hashirama, Senju Tobirama and Uchiha Madara walked up to Shimura Danzo. Uchiha Madara. What are you going to do to us Uchiha clan today? Senju Tobirama. Teaching you ninjutsu is not for you to deal with our Senju clan. Senju Hashirama. You still want to be a Hokage? That's a wishful thinking. Every time the three of them spoke, Shimura Danzo's heart trembled violently. In front of others, Shimura Danzo is the high-ranking leader of Konaha, the root leader who is feared by everyone. But in the eyes of the three people in front of me, they are just juniors who did something wrong. Shimura Danzo didn't dare to refute, nor could he. His back was already soaked with sweat. As for the other people at the root, they were all staring blankly at the transparent little snake in front of them. By this time the little snake had already changed its shape. It has become the most intimate existence. There are fallen comrades, dead relatives, and the most admired objects. Some people behave very quietly, but two clear tears slide down from the fox mask. Some people were very irritable, picking up kunai and waving them around. Some people fell into fear and strangled their necks with both hands. However, the transparent snake did not stop there. Instead, they continued to divide wildly. In just a few minutes, the entire Konaha village was covered with transparent snakes. Mom, I saw Grandma. Here, this fake wine has so much stamina that it actually made me see my first girlfriend. I should drink another bottle. Minato Namikaze, you said you were my father. Teacher, don't leave Hongbin behind. The place with the most transparent snakes is the Hokage office. Sarutobi Hiruzen was sitting at his desk, with several transparent figures standing in front of him. Third generation. Why do you want to exile us, the Senju clan? Teacher, I just want to do research. Why do you want to drive me out of Konaha village? Third generation. Don't you feel guilty for treating my son like this? Third generation. Where were you when Nine Tails came? Why didn't you stop Minato? Listening to the countless figures in front of me, Sarutobi Hiruzen's forehead was covered with sweat, and he had long since lost the calmness of a Hokage. Because of their questions, Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't want to answer and couldn't answer them. No matter how much Sarutobi Hiruzen shouted, Anbu, who was always on call, was like air at this time, and no one showed up. Who is it? What is this ninjutsu? Why target Konaha? Sarutobi Hiruzen roared in his heart. First there was the giant great fireball that covered the sky and the sun, and then there were the small transparent snakes that filled the leaf village. No matter which move is used, it is enough to destroy Konaha village. No matter how much he thought, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't think of anyone in the ninja world who could do this. And the little snake continued to divide. Each division is 3 times the size of the previous one. After the base number is increased, each split will be massive. If this speed continues, in a few minutes, the entire ninja world will be occupied by transparent snakes. At this time, Lu Mu was standing on the tree trunk, staring blankly at the scene in front of him. He just performed a substitute technique. It's like opening the door to hell. Looking around, they are all small transparent snakes, and they are still dividing. If it continues, it may be even more powerful than infinite Tsukuyomi. Even the entire ninja world will be paralyzed. This substitute technique is simply more powerful than any forbidden technique. It is definitely an existence that needs to be banned forever. Immediately, Lu Mu quickly released the substitute technique. Suddenly, countless small transparent snakes burst at the same time like bubbles. It's like it never appeared. As the transparent snake disappeared, everyone woke up. Mom, Grandma is missing. Don't leave. I must have drank too little fake wine, so I'll drink another bottle. Dad, don't leave, they will continue to bully me if you leave. As the ninjutsu lifted, Sarutobi Hiruzen sighed helplessly. In front of these two ninjutsu, even as a Hokage, he looked so weak and helpless. It can be said that if the other party wants to destroy Konaha village, they only need to let this ninjutsu continue. But he couldn't do anything. Did the gods send me to punish me? At this time, Shimura Danzo was breathing heavily. The bandage on his head was lifted up at some point, revealing a blood-red pupil. If not ninjutsu is lifted in time, in the next second, my spirit will definitely collapse, and my ninja will completely collapse. As for everyone else, it's definitely not much better. The genjutsu of the Uchiha clan are so terrifying. Shimura Danzo took a deep breath to calm himself down, and then his eyes showed murderous intent again. The Uchiha clan must not continue to exist. While Lu Mu was still stunned, Shimura Danzo suddenly rushed in front of him. Fortunately, Sharingan is on. Lu Mu could clearly see Shimura Danzo's attack trajectory. With a simple step back, he dodged. Lu Mu seemed a little speechless. As soon as the substitute technique was unlocked, Shimura Danzo came up to fight with all his strength. He really had no principles at all. Moreover, Lu Mu's show is here, which is indirectly a mission assigned by Shimura Danzo. I don't understand at all what Shimura Danzo wants to do. For a time, Shimura Danzo's attacks became more and more fierce, and every blow was directed towards Lu Mu's vitals. If Lu Mu hadn't obtained the 3 Magatama Sharingan, he would have been hit and fell to the ground. As for everyone in Anbu, they have not completely withdrawn from the emotions just now. Even the few people who had recovered had doubts written all over their faces. Why fight? Obviously Lu Mu let everyone go. Why does Shimura Danzo continue to fight? Why didn't Lu Mu fight back? A ninja who can perform that kind of ninjutsu is definitely the top ninja. Now, Danzo Shimura keeps attacking him, but he has no intention of fighting back. The most anxious person present was definitely Hatake Kakashi. After experiencing Lu Mu's 2 ninjutsu, Hatake Kakashi knew how terrifying Lu Mu was. It is no exaggeration to say that he is a god. If Lu Mu is completely angered, it will bring disaster to Konaha and the entire ninja world. But how dare Shimura Danzo touch Lu Mu's bottom line again and again? Even if Shimura Danzo dares, Hatake Kakashi cannot let him make mistakes. Then Hatake Kakashi stood up with his tired body. Because Hatake Kakashi knew that he had to do something. Then his hands began to form seals. As a few simple handprints ended, arcs glowing with white light kept beating, and the sound of sizzling electric current continued to be heard. Reikiri, Hatake Kakashi's rise to fame ninjutsu. Named for cutting through thunder and lightning. Reikiri relies on its extremely strong penetrating ability and extremely fast speed. As long as the enemy is hit, there is absolutely no chance of survival. After all, even lightning can cut through it, so how can a mortal body stop this ninjutsu? And Hatake Kakashi's Sharingan is more like tailor-made. Powerful insight makes it easier for Hatake Kakashi to hit enemies. Shimura Danzo noticed the flashing lightning, and his face showed a hint of joy. Although he was able to suppress Lu Mu was as cunning as a loach and couldn't catch him at all. But if Hatake Kakashi intervenes, the result will be completely different. All he had to do was hold Lu Mu back for a breath. In this breath, Hatake Kakashi can send Reikiri into the opponent's body. As long as Lu Mu, a powerful genjutsu master, dies. The Uchiha clan is nothing to worry about. Kakashi, I'll hold him down. Shimura Danzo said, then he gave up the attack and relied on movement to control Lu Mu within a very small range. Lu Mu frowned. Although he has the blessing of the 3 Magatama Sharingan, he can clearly see Shimura Danzo's movements. But he is a genin after all. Against Shimura Danzo and Hatake Kakashi at the same time, the chance of victory is almost zero. At this moment, the thunderbolt in Hatake Kakashi's hand was even larger than before. Then the whole person fell forward, and the body rushed forward quickly. Call, suck. In just one breath, Hatake Kakashi arrived in front of him. Zila. Blood splattered everywhere, directly staining Lu Mu's face. Lu Mu looked at the dead fish eyes in front of him in disbelief. Shimura Danzo also looked at Hatake Kakashi in disbelief. Because of this move Reikiri hit. It's not Lu Mu. But yourself. His shoulder was actually pierced directly. For a moment, Shimura Danzo had an angry expression on his face. If it weren't for the inexplicable sense of crisis, the body would avoid it involuntarily. Then this Reikiri shot will not land on your shoulders, but on your heart. Shimura Danzo quickly stepped back. Then he covered the hole on his shoulder with one hand, trying to stop the blood from flowing. There was even a distorted expression on his face. Kakashi, what on earth do you want to do? Shimura Danzo didn't understand that he was the dignified root leader and the real high-level leader of Konaha village. Hatake Kakashi is nothing but an Anbu. Why does he dare to take action against himself? How dare he? The most annoying thing is that Hatake Kakashi succeeded. The wound on the shoulder will never heal in a short time, and may even leave a lifelong disability. Hatake Kakashi seemed to be deaf, completely ignoring Shimura Danzo's anger, and turned around and walked in front of Lu Mu. Kneel down on one knee. Hatake Kakashi, what the hell are you doing? Shimura Danzo became increasingly angry. Hatake Kakashi actually knelt down in front of him, an unknown ninja whose identity, origin and strength were unknown. If the other party is a spy from another village, doesn't it mean that Hatake Kakashi also has a problem? Kakashi, stand up and kill him. I will treat what happened today as if it never happened. Shimura Danzo took a deep breath and calmed down. Hatake Kakashi turned his head slightly and glanced at Shimura Danzo out of the corner of his eye. Shut up. Shimura Danzo was stunned for a moment. How dare Hatake Kakashi shut himself up? By the way, not only did he dare to shut up, he also dared to attack himself with Reikiri. For a moment, Shimura Danzo's eyes filled with murderous intent. Kakashi, you know what you are doing. I'm saving Konaha. After Hatake Kakashi said this, he ignored Shimura Danzo and kowtowed to Lu Mu. Please, senior, let the Leaf Village go. Hatake Kakashi knelt on his knees, placed his hands on the ground, and lowered his head only a piece of paper away from the ground. A perfect soil seat. Shimura Danzo was dumbfounded. Ninja is arguably the most dangerous profession. The tip of the knife licks blood, walking in front of the gate of hell. Sometimes when you close your eyes, you will never see the sun the next day again. But it was because of the danger of the ninja that he gained his lofty status. Even if they meet the lord of a country, the most a ninja can do is kneel down on one knee. Kneeling down on your knees is completely abandoning your dignity and begging for the other person's forgiveness. What on earth could make Hatake Kakashi do this? Kakashi, get up. Shimura Danzo became increasingly angry. Because Hatake Kakashi's kneeling represents not only him, but also Anbu, Konaha village, and the entire Fire Nation. If this spreads out, the entire ninja world will laugh at the Konaha ninjas as soft-footed shrimps without bones. Do you want to be a rebel? Shimura Danzo no longer spoke in a commanding tone, but directly threatened. Hatake Kakashi shuddered. Rebellious. These are the two words Hatake Kakashi least wants to hear. His father, Konaha hero Konaha Whitefang Hatake Sakumo, failed the mission because he chose to save his teammates during the mission. After returning to Konaha, the originally warm and friendly villagers suddenly turned into bitter and hateful enemies. He kept poking Hatake Sakumo's spine. In the end, he committed suicide at home because he couldn't stand the pressure. This is just because my teammates gave up the mission and suffered such treatment. But what if he was called a traitor? Then the entire Konaha village will become his enemy. The next time you meet a ninja from Konaha village, instead of greeting him warmly, he will take out a kunai and think of a way to get rid of yourself. Hatake Kakashi was confused for a while. If Lu Mu is angered by giving up Dageza, then the entire Konaha village will disappear completely. But if he doesn't get up, he will become a traitor and be despised by everyone. Hatake Kakashi felt so wrong. Everything seems to be wrong. It seems that there is no right answer in this world. At this moment, Hokage Kakashi felt a tap on his shoulder. Hokage Kakashi raised his head in confusion, seeing Lu Emu's young and handsome smiling face. Get up. But, you don't want to be a rebel, do you? Hokage Kakashi was silent, with a tangled expression on his face. Since you don't want to be a rebel, then get up. Hokage Kakashi hesitated for a while and finally stood up. Lu Mu smiled slightly. As a human being, the most important thing is to be happy. I don't have much conflict with Hokage Kakashi. There is no need to force him to suffer from schizophrenia and finally follow his father's path. But it also made Lu Mu realize how disgusting Shimura Danzo was. Hokage Kakashi dedicated himself to the Leaf Village, and later worked hard for the Leaf Village, and finally succeeded in becoming the 6th Hokage. But Shimura Danzo actually wanted to impose the name of Rebel Ninja on the future Hokage. It can be said to be disgusting. Fortunately, the location of the 3rd Hokage was not passed to Shimura Danzo, otherwise the Leaf Village might have been gone long ago. Seeing Lu Mu sneer at him, Shimura Danzo got goosebumps all over his body. The fear hidden in the deepest part of the soul immediately came out. What do you want to do? Do the Uchiha clan want to rebel? Uchiha clan. Lu Mu was stunned for a moment, and then reacted immediately. After getting Sharingan, it has been turned on. In other words, the blood-red eyes were always bright, and Shimura Danzo directly misunderstood him after seeing the iconic Sharingan. I thought Lu Mu was from the Uchiha clan. Lu Mu laughed out loud, but had no intention of explaining. There is no need to explain. What Lu Mu has to do now is to teach Shimura Danzo a lesson. Are you ready, Shimura Danzo? Shimura Danzo's heart beat rapidly. Although Lu Emu's chakra was only at the level of genin, he could not stop feeling fear in his heart. The two legs unexpectedly took a step back involuntarily. Come on, kill him. Shimura Danzo gave an order, and all the root members froze for a moment, looking at their leader in doubt. Although everyone is full of fear. But the first rule in the root manual is to obey orders completely. Then several ninjas tentatively ran towards Lu Mu. Lu Mu smiled calmly, and then quickly formed seals with his hands. Fire style. Phoenix Sage Fire Jutsu. As the lines that burst the Chunin sense sounded, several flames flew towards everyone. Hide quickly. Be careful. Halfway through the words, the root members stayed where they were, and the short sword in their hands fell to the ground without realizing it. Because the scene in front of them made the members of the roots, who had experienced life and death and walked in the gate of hell all year round, feel frightened from the bottom of their hearts. It's not that I'm not afraid of death. It's about not encountering real fear. No real despair encountered. At this moment, the root members experienced it. I saw a phoenix in front of me, covered in flames and as tall as dozens of houses, waving its wings. There was no ferocity or murderous intent in the eyes as tall as a person, just a hint of indifference. It was as if he didn't take the ninja in front of him seriously at all. Fire Phoenix also has this qualification. And every time the two huge wings flap down, everyone is like facing a typhoon. It was difficult to even stand firm, and they could only stand by supporting each other. At this moment, the bird's beak slowly opened. A crisp phoenix chirp sounded. From such a close distance, it was like a tweeter shouting against the ear. Everyone was shocked and dizzy. Some people even fainted directly, with a trace of blood flowing out of their cochlea. Apparently the eardrum was shattered. The last straw that defeated the members of Anbu was that there were 3 of these phoenixes. Shimura Danzo uses Sharingan again and again. I hope I can see through the genjutsu in front of me. But after using it several times, Shimura Danzo became desperate. The 3 phoenixes in front of me are real. Each one cannot be seen through with Sharingan. Regardless of whether the decisions he made before were right or wrong, Shimura Danzo never regretted or hesitated. But at this moment, Shimura Danzo regretted it. Why did I provoke Lu Mu? Obviously the first 2 ninjutsu have proven themselves to be powerful. Why continue to provoke? Although the 3 phoenixes were not as huge and desperate as the first fireball, they were also not as confused as the second transparent snake and had no idea what to do. But each of the 3 phoenixes is several times stronger than 9 tails. If it comes to Konaha village, then the entire Konaha village will truly become the land of fire and a purgatory on earth. There is nothing I can do. Shimura Danzo laughed to himself. Perhaps as first generation said just now, I am not worthy of being a Hokage at all. Shimura Danzo finished talking to himself, and his face gradually darkened. Hitachi Kakashi looked at Shimura Danzo in disbelief. At this moment, Shimura Danzo's ninja path was broken. The most important thing about being a ninja is not ninjutsu, not chakra, not any fighting skills. It is inheritance, the inheritance of ninja from generation to generation. Ninjas value the way of ninja far more than their own lives. Even if he died in battle, his ninja would still be as hard as iron. The way of ninja is the goal that ninjas strive for, a belief and a will. A ninja without ninja will completely lose the meaning of living. But at this moment, Shimura Danzo's ninja was broken. Out of guilt, out of inner self-blame. At this time, Hitachi Kakashi's face showed a hint of joy. Over the years in Anbu, Hitachi Kakashi found out many secrets from the past. Among them is the real reason why Hitachi Sakumo committed suicide. Hitachi Sakumo, as the hero of Konaha, was the perfect candidate to become Hokage at that time. Hitachi Sakumo returns from a failed mission. Shimura Danzo created a public opinion offensive for his Hokage dream. The third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, also chose to turn a blind eye in order to eliminate dissidents and protect his family. In the end, Hitachi Sakumo committed suicide at home. Hitachi Kakashi vaguely remembers that Hitachi Sakumo's face was gray and his eyes were dull, exactly the same as Shimura Danzo's now. I originally thought that this kind of expression would never appear on the face of a ruthless person like Shimura Danzo. I didn't expect it just because I pissed off someone. After angering a 12 or 13-year-old boy, the way of ninja showed signs of breaking. Duanzo, what are you doing? Following a loud shout, an elderly and hunched figure jumped out. It is none other than third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen. Upon discovering the arrival of Sarutobi Hiruzen, Shimura Danzo's expression instantly recovered. Recalling the scene just now, Shimura Danzo couldn't help but feel scared. If Hiruzen Sarutobi had come a little later, then your own ninja will be completely shattered. If the endurance is broken, it will definitely be more painful than death. That's the right expression. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded happily. Shimura Danzo is his right-hand man. Shimura Danzo can handle many shady things that are inconvenient for him to deal with. If Shimura Danzo's ninjutsu was broken, where would he find such cooperative teammates? Thank you, little monkey. Shimura Danzo simply thanked him. After all, the relationship between the two has lasted for decades, so there is no need for too much red tape. But even though I was able to keep my temper, I managed to survive. But the three phoenixes in front of me are still invincible, and there is still no way to deal with them. Little monkey, do you have any idea? What can I do? Hiruzen Sarutobi rolled his eyes dissatisfied. During the last Nine Tails rebellion, he managed to survive. Otherwise, he would have been the one to cast the corpse ban at that time. But who knew that within a few years, 3 more phoenixes would come? This time there was no one to stop the knife. Sarutobi Hiruzen could only bite the bullet and show up. Although you can't decipher the scene in front of you, don't forget that his eyes are blood red and he is the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. Now there is no way but to regard the scene in front of you as genjutsu. Shimura Danzo nodded slightly. This is completely gambling on life. Although it is not the best way, it is the only way now. Then it's up to you, little monkey. Sarutobi Hiruzen rolled his eyes, didn't say anything more, and just threw away the hat that represented Hokage's identity. The huge hat blocked Luemu's sight. But when the hat fell to the ground, Luemu discovered that Hiruzen Sarutobi had completed the seal formation, and a large amount of chakra was rapidly gathering on his body. Water style. Water Dragon Bomb. The surrounding area became dry for a while, but the air humidity increased sharply around Sarutobi Hiruzen. At this moment, a huge whirlpool appeared above Sarutobi Hiruzen's head. Then a huge head emerged from the whirlpool. Upon closer inspection, it turned out to be a huge dragon head. With a dragon roar, the huge water dragon flew into the air, twisting its body. The water dragon is very huge compared to a human being, and can basically swallow a person in one bite. But compared to the fire phoenix, there is no comparison at all. It was exactly like a little earthworm, twisting in front of the rooster. If the phoenix is real, then the water dragon bomb will have no effect, and may even completely anger the opponent. But what if it's genjutsu? Thinking of this, Sarutobi Hiruzen shouted loudly, and the water dragon in the air no longer twisted its body, but crashed straight towards the fire phoenix. In just a few seconds, the two parties collided. The violent explosion as imagined did not happen, not even the most basic sense of impact. Instead, he just dived in. Other than that, nothing happens at all. For a moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen had a proud smile on his face. Danzo, being scared by a genin using genjutsu is not the quality a root leader should have. Immediately, Shimura Danzo's face turned dark, and his body kept shaking. He was obviously extremely angry. Unexpectedly, my own cage-level strength was so frightened by genin from the Uchiha clan that I almost broke my nerves. If word of this spreads, Hokage's position may not stand a chance. Little monkey, leave this kid to me, I will make him live and not die. What Shimura Danzo has to do now is to vent all his previous dissatisfaction and anger on Lu Mu. After all, how can the dignity of a film-level person be trampled on by genin? Boy, I have to say that your genjutsu is very powerful, but illusory things can never cause harm to reality. Shimura Danzo said, walking towards the fire phoenix without fear. Because this fire phoenix is nothing but genjutsu. At this time, fire phoenix seemed to be provoked by the ants in front of him, showing a trace of anger. Then the huge claws grabbed Shimura Danzo. Shimura Danzo stopped, with a sneer on his face. His hands were opened directly, with no intention of evading at all. Fear is a demonic disease in the heart, and genjutsu relies on chakra to amplify fear infinitely. As long as I no longer have fear in my heart, then your genjutsu will be completely unbearable to me. Before Shimura Danzo finished speaking, he suddenly felt himself being hit by a huge force, and then a burst of intense flames completely enveloped him. Isn't this genjutsu? Third generation cheated me, so now it seems that what I said just now is embarrassing, isn't it? Sarutobi Hiruzen, you tricked me. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.